The way you design your day often dictates the way you design your life. Think about that. While the majority of the world is still lost in sleep, a very select group of people are already on their feet, already mapping out the future, already moving, already stepping toward their vision. The difference between these two groups might only be a few hours on a clock, a thin slice of time. But when you compound those hours over a lifetime, that tiny difference changes everything. It changes your bank account, it changes your character, it changes your destination. Now, this is not really a conversation about time. It is not about a specific number on your watch. It is about what those early hours represent: discipline, focus, uncompromising commitment, intentional living. Because taking command of your day early does something extraordinary to your psychology. It puts you in the driver's seat long before the world starts screaming for your attention, before the distractions begin, before the excuses have a chance to take root. You have time to look inward, time to calculate, time to refine your philosophy. And that, my friends, but it's precisely where transformation begins. Success is never a mystery. It is not an accident of birth, and it is certainly not magic. Success is simply the predictable result of hard work and intelligent discipline. Most people want the harvest, but they want it without changing their soil. They want extraordinary outcomes from completely ordinary routines. And life, let me tell you, life does not operate that way. Life responds to deserve, not to need. Success requires intention. Success requires discipline. Success requires sacrifice. And sometimes that sacrifice looks like pushing the blankets away, when it would be so much more comfortable to stay exactly where you are. Consider this: every single morning, you face a critical crossroads. You can hit the snooze button, or you can hit your targets. You can choose immediate comfort, or you can choose long-term growth. You can choose what is easy today, or what will make your future significantly better tomorrow. And those micro choices, repeated day after day, week after week, become the fabric of your life. Because major breakthroughs are rarely built on one massive decision. No, they are built on thousands of small, hidden, disciplined decisions. The decision to listen instead of talk. The decision to learn instead of complain. The decision to prepare instead of wing it. The decision to improve when nobody is watching. That is the winner's mindset. A philosophy that declares, I will take full responsibility for my own economy. I will not wait for good fortune. I will build it. Winners understand a profound truth. The morning is not just a calendar event, it is a massive opportunity. An opportunity to build muscle, mentally and spiritually. An opportunity to become wiser. An opportunity to master yourself. And remember, discipline compounds. It operates exactly like compound interest in a financial institution. A small deposit of discipline today, a small deposit tomorrow, another next week, and eventually, you wake up to find you have become a completely different human being, not because of a dramatic stroke of lightning, but because of steady, unwavering effort. Small daily disciplines and practiced over time yield staggering results. We are going to dissect the anatomy of this mindset, why top performers protect their morning hours, how discipline generates unstoppable momentum, why your daily rituals shape your ultimate destiny, and how taking complete control of your mornings allows you to take absolute control of your life. Because the battle for the day is almost always won or lost before the rest of the world even opens their eyes. Wake up with clarity, think with precision, act with discipline, and watch with fascination as your life begins to shift. Let me ask you a very direct question. How did you start your day today? Because the manner in which you handle your morning sets the tone for your afternoon. And the way you handle your afternoon determines your week, and those weeks quickly turn into years. Success is not a single monumental event. It is a collection of moments, small moments, quiet moments, and some of the most critical moments occur within the very first hour after you open your eyes. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines, practiced every single day. Notice the phrase every day, not when the weather is nice, not when you feel inspired, not once a week when you remember, every single day. And the morning is where that chain of discipline begins. You see, every morning offers you a blank canvas, a fresh page, a new season, a beautiful chance to rewrite your story. Yesterday is completely written. There is not a single word you can change. Tomorrow is still a concept. But this morning, this very hour, you belongs entirely to you. The question is, what are you going to do with it?
The average person wakes up and immediately surrenders their mental real estate. They reach for the telephone. They scan the news. They react to text messages. They check notifications from strangers. They allow the outside world to hijack their mind before they have even established their own center. And that, let me tell you, is a very dangerous way to live. Because if you do not run your day, I promise you, your day will run you. High achievers look at the world through a different lens. They know the first hour is sacred territory. It is not an expense. It is an investment in mental clarity, an investment in focus, an investment in strategic direction. Think about a captain preparing a massive ship for the ocean. Would you want that captain to step onto the bridge confused, frantic, distracted, unprepared? Absolutely not. The captain starts with a checklist, with preparation, with sobriety, and your life, your valuable life, deserves that exact same level of respect. The morning is your preparation deck. It is your window to think before you act, to plan before you react, to lead before you are forced to follow. Don't wish things were easier. Wish you were better. And becoming better almost always happens in the dark, before breakfast, before the noise hits the streets, before the pressure mounts, before the corporate demands begin. In those pristine, quiet moments, you can construct a better version of yourself. You can feed your mind. You can analyze your behavior. You can journal your ideas. You can mentally rehearse the victories ahead. Tomorrow morning, when that alarm sounds, remember this. Before the world demands your energy, give something valuable to yourself. Show up for your own life. Be intentional, be focused, because remarkable destinies are grown in completely ordinary mornings. And the individual who masters the dawn will eventually master the world. Let's look at this deeper. The struggle for excellence takes place before the sun rises, not because early risers have some biological secret, but because it demands the one currency success requires: discipline. Discipline is the bridge between where you are today and the goals you want to achieve tomorrow. On one side of the river sits your potential, your dreams, your family's future, your financial freedom. On the other side sits reality. And the only way to cross that divide is by walking across the bridge of discipline. Not talent, not luck, not genetics, discipline. Let's be completely honest with each other. The alarm clock is never the real enemy. The real adversary is comfort, the warm sheets, the soft mattress, the seductive little voice that whispers, just 5 more minutes. You worked hard yesterday, you can start tomorrow. We have all wrestled with that voice. Every single person watching or listening to this has succumbed to that voice at some point. But true leaders learn to stop negotiating with the voice of convenience. Every single morning, two distinct versions of you wake up and look at each other. One version craves comfort, the other version demands progress. One wants to stay small and safe. The other wants to conquer territory. One looks backward at what was, the other looks forward at what could be. Waking up early is a difficult habit, and that is precisely why it carries so much value. Easy habits do not transform lives. If it were easy, everybody would be wealthy, healthy, and completely fulfilled. It is the difficulty that creates the value. When you refuse the snooze button, you are doing something far deeper than just getting out of bed. You are broadcasting a powerful message to your own subconscious. You are announcing, my goals are urgent, my future is non negotiable, my growth matters more than temporary comfort. And those internal declarations slowly alter your identity. Many people view discipline as a form of self punishment. What a tragic mistake. Discipline is the highest form of self love. It is self respect in action. It is proving to your own reflection that your word actually means something. The true reward of the 5 a.m. habit is not the extra tasks you complete. The true reward is the person you become in the process. You become a person of execution, a person of integrity, a person who acts while others ponder. Now, let's be realistic. There will be mornings when you absolutely do not want to move. Mornings when your eyes are heavy. Mornings when the house is freezing. Mornings when your motivation is absolutely zero. Those, my friends, are the mornings that matter the most because character is never forged when everything is going perfectly. Character is forged in the storm. Anyone can run when they are excited. Anyone can wake up early when they are starting a new project. But can you do it when the novelty wears off? Can you do it when you are exhausted? That is the dividing line. That is where the crowd thinned out and the champions emerged. Do not pray for an easier life. Pray for a stronger character. Better habits construct better lives, one single morning at a time. This journey teaches you that your emotions do not have to dictate your actions. You can feel tired and still execute. You can feel uninspired and still create. You can feel afraid and still step forward. Once you learn how to separate your actions from your feelings, you unlock the keys to the kingdom. Imagine doing this consistently for 1 year. What happens? You develop an unshakable belief in your own capabilities. You stop looking around for validation. You know what you are made of because you proved it in the dark. So look at the clock, not as an oppressor, but as a tool. Comfort is the thief of prosperity. Delay is the assassin of opportunity. And every time you conquer the morning, you win a small war against your lower self. Let me highlight something that the modern world has completely forgotten. Some of the greatest creative breakthroughs in human history happened in absolute silence. Not in crowded boardrooms, not in noisy cafes, not amid the chatter of social media, in silence. And there is no hour on earth that offers cleaner silence than the early morning. Before the world starts moving, there is a pristine solitude, a peace that surpasses understanding. Most people are terrified of silence. They cannot handle being alone with their own minds for 5 minutes, so they instantly fill the void. They turn on the television, they open an app, they inject noise into their system, and it is a catastrophic error because deep thinking is where wealth is generated. The major value in life is not what you acquire. The major value in life is who you become. And becoming requires deep, uninterrupted reflection. You cannot hear the whispers of wisdom if your environment is constantly shouting. At 5 a.m., the universe slows down just enough for you to examine your philosophy. And your philosophy dictates your choices. Your choices dictate your habits, and your habits dictate your ultimate destination. Most people spend their entire lives in a state of reaction. They react to the economy, they react to their boss, they react to bad news. They are like a leaf blown by the wind. But in the quiet of the morning, you stop reacting. You start orchestrating. You become the author of your day, not the victim of it. When was the last time you sat completely still for 30 minutes with nothing but a notepad and a pen? No screens, no interruptions, just you analyzing your life. For the average person, the answer is never, and yet they wonder why they feel stuck. Clarity comes from stillness, strategy comes from reflection, wisdom comes from stepping away from the noise. Do not spend major time on minor things. That is one of the ultimate laws of human achievement, and solitude is the filter that separates the major from the minor. It forces you to ask the hard questions. Is my current direction aligned with my ultimate destination? Am I wasting my days protecting my comfort instead of pursuing my calling? What habits must I kill today to ensure my family thrives tomorrow? The early morning allows you to decide what matters. Before the world tries to, decide for you. The morning is your chance to sharpen your axe before you start chopping the wood. The individual who rushes out into the day without preparation spends all day hacking at trees with a dull blade. They work hard, but they achieve little. The wise individual uses the quiet hours to sharpen the steel. They strengthen their mindset, they refine their goals, they plan their moves, so when they step into the marketplace, their strikes are clean, precise, and incredibly powerful. Opportunities are never distributed equally. Opportunities are aggressively attracted to prepared people. So do not waste these miraculous early hours. Do not trade your ultimate destiny for 60 more minutes of unconsciousness. Tomorrow morning, when the alarm sounds, realize that it is not an interruption. It is a summons to greatness, a summons to build, a summons to become. Stand up, protect the hour, invest in your mind, review your vision, win the morning, win the day, and let the rest of the world wonder how you managed to create such a magnificent life. The time is now. The canvas is blank. Go build your masterpiece.